Well, that didn't last long. Adrian Peterson waived by the Tennessee Titans. Just 90 yards from scrimmage in 3 games this season as the Titans look to fill the void left by Derrick Henry, who was injured a few weeks ago and is likely done for the season. Get our fantasy expert, Dave Richard, in here. Dave, now what do we do? I mean, I was sitting here with you, I think, when the news broke that Derrick Henry was going to be out for the season.
Right.
And now what do we do with Adrian Peterson out of the mix?
The Titans are kind of finding their way, and they thought that Adrian Peterson would be someone that fit in what they're looking for as a physical, tough running back, and he ended up not being very much of that. I mean, he's tough, but he can't gain yards, and you kind of need to do that if you're a running back in the National Football League. So he's out ski. Hopefully you listened to us and you didn't spend a ton of fab on him. Hopefully you didn't burn your #1 waiver claim in unresetting waivers on him. We didn't have a problem spending your top waiver claim if waivers reset each week on Adrian Peterson because it wasn't that big of a chance to take. And now it's proven to pass that he was the worst of all the Titans options since they've gone ahead without Derrick Henry in their lives. It's going to be a lot of Dontrell Hilliard and D'Onta Foreman. That's my conjecture here, given the fact that Hilliard looked pretty good in Week 11, played a ton in the second half against Houston. 78% of the snaps in the second half, 92% of the snaps in the fourth quarter. So he was the hurry-up running back for that game, but he also had explosive runs on each of his first 3 carries. He worked in the 2-minute drill. He might be a better passing downs back than what Jeremy McNichols has been for Tennessee. But McNichols is on the concussion list right now. He's in the protocol. He'll come off that list soon. When he does, it's still going to be a mess in Tennessee. Hilliard will be in there. D'Onta Foreman will be in there. McNichols will be in there. But I think Hilliard may have carved out a role where the Titans will at least see what he can give them over the next couple of games. And they're taking on the Patriots. They've allowed a lot of rushing yards to running backs over their last 8 games.
Coming off the loss this past week, Ryan Tannehill in the passing game just hasn't been there. Julio Jones still out.
Still out. And they have a bye after this game. So they're going to see, this is probably going to be more of like an informational game for the Titans. They're going to try and win, of course. They're going to have to do it with a lot of defense. I don't know where that defense is going to come from. But we're going to see, and they're going to see, what they have in these 3 running backs. And I bet after the bye, they'll have a pretty clear idea of who their best running back is, whether or not they'll need to split with him, and whether or not there will be 3 running backs in the mix instead of 2. If you make a move to pick up Hilliard off your waiver wire this week, or if you've got Foreman, or if you've got McNichols, you need to be prepared to let them go during the bye week because they might not have a significant role that we can count on for those fantasy playoffs that start in Week 14.
You think this could be it for Peterson?
Yeah.
Just didn't have it.
I mean, he just, the very first game, it looked like D'Onta Foreman was better than him. And D'Onta Foreman has had a torn Achilles. He's not that much younger. I mean, everybody's younger than Adrian Peterson, except me. But he's not. He's when you think about running backs without a lot of experience, he's one of the older backs in the league in that regard. And then in their second game together, they looked about equal. So I'm sure the Titans looked at it and said, "Why are we going to stick with the old man when we've got a couple of young running backs that have shown us something over the past couple of weeks, and they know that they can trust Jeremy McNichols in a certain role?" So it was easy for them to say bye-bye to AP.
Okay, Peterson.